Hi guys, today I'm going to share some game-changing seed starting techniques that guarantee a higher success rate with getting mature plants out into the garden. Now, of course, you can direct sow your seeds after frost, but if you do it early, you can get some earlier harvests. And one big reason I do it early is because so much wildlife enjoys young, tasty seedlings that your chance of success if you plant it directly in the ground is substantially lower than if you plant out a more mature plant. And if I can get my plants to have tougher, more mature leaves, they'll be less appealing to things like birds and rabbits. And I have a lot of rabbit browse here, and I want to share the garden with birds and rabbits and insects. So this is the way I have good success, and that is by starting seedlings. But these summer crops will be grown on inside for a few more weeks until I'm sure that the nighttime temperatures aren't going to go down into the 30s anymore. We can flash back to a moment ago inside, and I'll show you how I start my larger seeds. This is what my kitchen table looks like at the end of March. I started these seeds a few days ago, and I'm going to check the germination. And here in my high-tech X-ray setup, next to my sunny window, I can hold my seeds up and see that a couple seeds have sent out anchor roots. I just see a little tail on that seed. So it's time for me to open it up and take that seed out and plant it, because if the seeds stay too long in this environment, they can rot. So this is just so you get that seed started and you're only planting viable seeds. Okay, I'm very excited about this center cut squash. So it's almost like a zucchini, but it's a hybrid of a tromboncino squash, and they're a little denser than a zucchini, but they have quite a similar taste, and you can prepare them the same way. But what I have heard about them is they're resistant to some of the pests that I get in my area. I get squash vine borers. If these can stay in the ground the whole season, that would be amazing. Let me show you what I've done here. I already showed you how I determine when a seed is ready to plant. And you can do that by holding it up to the light as I demonstrated. But let's see what we have here. Oh, I actually have 3. I'm a little surprised here. I thought I only had 1. So I'm going to show you. Oh, I take that back. They all germinated. I like to take my larger seeds, mostly in the squash family, and put them inside of a wet paper towel. And this is a great way, especially to test older seeds, but all of these have germinated. I don't know if you can see. I'm only showing you 4. The other one is behind a wrinkle, but you can see an anchor root is coming out of each seed. And, sometimes people call it a little tail, but all of those seeds I know are now viable. And that only took 3 days inside on my kitchen table where it's warmer. Now I know I have 5 center cut squash that if I plant, they should grow. So I'm not wasting any time or effort on seeds that aren't viable. And it's so disappointing to come out and find empty pots or empty cell trays where your seeds have not germinated. So I will plant those up today. Let's open another one. It's a little, I folded this a little bit too much, it's hard to tell, but I did see that, I'll hold it up. One of the other one, oh my goodness, the round zucchini. I think they're all winners too. So this is great. And this is amazing because these seeds are about 3 years old, and some seeds can last a very long time, but let's take a look at these. Okay, this is an even better example. Let's show you this. Oh my goodness. I have to tell you, it's only been 3 days and these zucchini seeds want to grow. Let me hold this up for you. As soon as you see any sign of life on these, get them planted because they can rot out if you leave them in too long. Let me show you these. Look, guys. Isn't that incredible? So clearly those are viable seeds, and I will get those planted up ASAP. So I think this speeds up germination, and it also keeps you from planting any duds. The other really important thing with this method is make sure you keep your seeds labeled. I have labeled all these, and I'm gonna need some more pots. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through my bags and plant all of the seeds that have some tails on them. Just gonna make an indentation and then put this gorgeous little seed that's ready to grow right inside. Doesn't even matter which way it is because it will right itself. And this is just some rehydrated cocoa coir. Clearly I'm gonna have too many squash plants and too many tomato plants. So I'm gonna bring these all inside where it's more reliably warm for a couple of weeks, and then they can come out to the polytunnel. I haven't even planted my spaghetti squash seeds. I have about 5 of those, so hopefully those will all sprout. But look at this, guys. I should have a nice success rate with these pre-sprouted squash seeds. The second method I wanted to talk about that I have adopted in the last couple years that has saved me loads of space is to multi-sow my smaller seeds. Here's an example of the tomatoes. I think you may have seen these already if you watched my little seedling special. And these are under grow lights inside. Again, for me in Maryland in zone 6B, 7A, it's still too cold at night. Look at the robust plants I have gotten. Now there's a reason for this. Not only is the multi-sowing method into one pot a space saver, the seeds themselves, as they're sprouting, have a growth hormone, and that growth hormone will stimulate the other seeds and plants around it. So this is why nature grows things this way. A tomato will drop on the ground and a whole clump of seedlings will pop up. And of course, in that scenario, the strongest ones survive. We can plant these out into other pots later on. 2 good reasons to do it this way is they stimulate each other. It's the way it's done in nature. And look, can you imagine how many seed cells I would have had? And times this by 7. I have 7 varieties I've started. This is a great method for starting those smaller seeds. And if you don't mind potting them up, it's really the way to go. For me, I find it a fun activity. I also wanted to show you an example of multi-sown seed cells and then singles. And let me show you what I've got here. I've got 3 different varieties of plants. I want you to look at the center. I did intensive multi-sowing of seeds of the Dusty Miller, and every cell is full. But if you look on the side, those marigolds, let's see, I've got 4 cells that are empty. So obviously my germination rate has gone down. Now perhaps if I had multi-sown marigolds, which I think I'm gonna have to try to do, maybe I would have gotten a higher germination rate. And the same thing over here with the Unwin's Dahlia mix. I only got 5 out of 12 to germinate, and that was with 1 seed per cell. So you can see right here, they are different varieties. However, you can see that the middle one, and that is the Dusty Miller, fared much better in the multi-sowing. And those were really little seeds. So guys, and I'm gonna just plant a whole plug out there, and then the survival of the fittest will grow up. Maybe a couple of the seedlings will grow together. Give me a nice big clump of it. That is a fantastic example of why you should multi-sow into one pot or into seed cells. You know, I don't think I'm ever gonna put 1 seed into a pot or a cell ever again. So guys, I hope this helps you successfully start and grow some flower and vegetable plants. For me, I've learned these methods over the years and it's been a game changer. So I hope you're having fun in your seed starting adventures, and I'll see you next time.